When it comes to abstract painting, there's lots of different ways to get texture into your painting. In today's video, we're going to focus on abstract painting with gesso and how to get texture using gesso. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Welcome back to another Art with Mark video. I just wanted to do a quick caveat here before we jump into the meat of things. This video did take me a little while to make because I had some difficulties with my equipment. I got some new equipment, I got this new microphone, new camera, and basically I stretched my skills a little too far than I was capable of going. So it took me a little while to finish this video, so as a result you see this new cool shelf over here with all of my paints on it, and I got some new angles I'm going to try in this video, so I hope that you like the new setup. It's going to be a work in progress in the next videos, especially as I learn everything, but that's definitely something to keep in mind with your own art practice. When you do try to attempt something new, try not to stretch yourself too far because it can be a little discouraging and a little deflating to your ambitions. So with that caveat, let's go ahead and get into the mix. But before we do that, let me just take a moment to welcome you to the Art with Mark YouTube channel, where I'm looking to learn to make, market, and monetize art. I don't want to share everything that I learned with you. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Gesso is basically a primer that you can use to prep pretty much anything to paint. You can use gesso on water bottles, on plywood, on tables, pretty much anything you put it on that makes it primed so that way you can paint on it. It adds a little bit of tooth, something for the paint to adhere to. That said, gesso is also great for sealing surfaces, and you can use it, in this case, to get texture. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We got our DickBlick Studio Canvas, 12 by 16 canvas. Jump right into it. Oh, shake the camera there. So DickBlick is one of my affiliate partners. If you're interested in picking up any of these canvases, you get a discount when you buy 10 or more. I'll go ahead and put a link in the comment down below. And if you use that link and make your purchase, it helps me out. It helps grow this channel with a small commission on that purchase at no extra cost to you. But all that nonsense aside, let's go ahead and see what we can do with this gesso. All right, so we're just going to start by pouring it right on there. See, the thing with gesso is, look at right now, see how fluid it is? If we let it sit here in the air for a little bit, it'll get a lot more tactile and moldable. But for now, we're just going to do this. I'm just going to spread it out. In fact, someone gave me a tip. You see how this canvas is kind of flimsy? It's a little bit loose. There's someone on Instagram who gave me a tip, and I totally forgot about it, but I'm going to share it with you right now. That I guess if you spray it down with water and then hit it with a hairdryer and heat it, it makes it nice and tight and taut. Kind of like when you pull your clothes out of a hot dryer and they're really tight. I should have done that. I should have done that for this. But I didn't think about it until right now. You can see the frame is like, I don't know about this particular canvas. Kind of hate when they're warped like that. It makes me want to build my own canvas, which I haven't tried yet, but we'll probably do a future video on that. All right, so as you can see right now, it's coming really smooth. So we're going to give this a few minutes and we're going to let it thicken up a bit, and we'll come back. We'll come back in a few minutes. I'm going to add a little bit more because I want this to get some texture to it. So while I was waiting for this to get a little more tacky, a little more thick, I decided to hit it with the hairdryer that I have over here, and discovered that using the hairdryer can actually get some really interesting textures into this. So we're going to do that real quick. Let me just spread this out, and it's kind of has to be fluid for this to work. Oh, shit. Where was I before I started destroying my apartment? Okay, so let's go back to it. So we're trying to spread this out a little bit further and make sure the whole canvas is covered. And then we're gonna try and get some cool effects here. We'll see what we can come up with. All right, so we got it covered. Now let's try this. Let's go ahead and a little puddle there, a little puddle there. Let's see what happens. Okay, I don't think that's working how we want it. So let's continue with what we were doing. All right, so that experiment failed, but you can see how I'm always talking about how abstract painting is really experimental, and sometimes you discover something and then you got to give it a try and see what happens. But I'm sure you can see how we're getting some nice textures in here. I've got my Bayer rubber roller right here. We're gonna use this, right? Let's go ahead and check this out and see what we can do here. Of course, naturally, before I started making this video, I went to YouTube and ran a search to see how other people are using gesso to make texture. And of course, you know who's gonna come up. It's gonna be Siraj Fine Arts. That guy always comes up for everything. And he had a nice little demonstration where he had used the rubber roller, and I was like, that's not a bad idea. Look at the textures it gets. So, and since we laid it on so thick and it's starting to lose some of that moisture, it's starting to pick up a lot more of the texture we're putting in here. What am I gonna do with this? Let's go ahead and put that there. I kind of like where it's going. Okay, I think we're gonna take a break here and let this dry. All right, so we're back. It's been a few hours. The gesso is now dry. So if you take a look here, you can see we now have the textures that we basically left here to dry. The thing that's different about gesso from some of the previous texture pastes that I've shown in other videos is it has a very smooth feel to the surface. So that's one thing to note. But other than that, that's pretty much how you texture a canvas using gesso. And yeah, so now I'm gonna paint it. We'll go ahead and put it into fast forward or time lapse, and feel free to enjoy the painting process. I may hop in here and there with some tips and stuff if I have anything else to say. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for watching this far. At this point, I am done with this painting. I am done with this video. This video took me so long to make because I had so many issues trying to make this video. I don't even want to get into all of it, but if you did get anything out of this video, you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit that like button, maybe even subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one.